All right, right off the bat, right, we can agree that there's no substitute for your own child. I know that you can't say that
Oh,
personal
I don't know that
experience.
because I don't have kids. I don't have it.
I could agree on that, but then let's start off with that question. Would you want to replace a human? Like, just say pass away, whatever the reason
Oh,
is.
this we're gonna go ahead and say this. Yeah, like I would go ahead and jump to. That's stupid. Who would have thought that? Let's give you a kid
Yep.
that want to grow up
Okay, that was my first point.
that you will have to take
Yep. That
care of no matter.
you would still have to take care of it, but then that was the
Okay.
first thing I
Yeah.
thought of.
I mean, come on. I mean, we're sitting there. We're thinking,
Thinking what? You cut out.
yeah, he's a kid. He's going to be a kid. He'll never grow. He never grows as a person.
So,
Okay. Well, let me put it. He's a kid. He never grows as a person. He'll
yep.
never change. Never.
Yeah, never.
Is that the whole
That's
point of having kids? I mean,
it
eventually,
is.
I mean, I don't have kids, but don't you eventually get tired of them being little? I mean, you miss some of the days, but I mean, there's
Well,
so much more to get. It's the watching them grow and stuff. And see, even this one doesn't grow any more beyond this point.
no. See
Even if
that.
they tell him something, they tell him something, they tell him something. He's programmed to never go beyond a point.
See, that was the problem I had too. Like, you never seen the Sixth Day, right? That was the first thing I thought of, like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. But that was about cloning, like same concept. If you're,
Oh no,
it doesn't
I've never
matter.
seen it.
But the scenario is like, hey, like this one, your kid is in a coma, then I never make up, or your kid is dying of cancer. You can clone your child, but then he or she will grow up. Like they will grow like regular person, but then a robot. Like, oh. And then one of the other problems I had with this movie was it was called
Well,
AI.
well, here's the problem though. In the real world though, if you ever clone somebody, you're not going to get that same person.
It's hard to say. Like if you have the thought process, right? But then if you clone a
Well,
kid, you will never know how he or she
well,
will grow up
no, if
anyway.
you clone them, you're not gonna get somebody else.
But you're not gonna
You're
get
gonna get
somebody
somebody
else, or
else. You're
you're
not
gonna get
really gonna
somebody else
get.
who you got in the
No, it's
first
just
place.
Cloning is cloning it by the sci-fi. By sci-fi cloning, we think you're gonna get the same person. But by real cloning, true cloning, it's just gonna have the same exact DNA, but it's not gonna be the same person.
How do you mean? Can you define that? How do you mean like not the same
Well,
person?
I mean, if I make a clone of you, it's not going to be you. It's going to have all your DNA. It may not even look like you completely.
So you're saying the personality is different, or it could be different?
Well, most likely because your personality is. Well, we're not talking about cloning today. This is not the deal. But yeah,
Yeah.
most the clone's going to be different depending on how you raise because your parents are too old to raise you again.
Oh, you talk about
It's
if.
the events that form
Oh.
and make you.
Oh, so okay, so you're talking about if they clone me,
And the
it had to
clone
start
most
from a
likely
baby.
won't as look a, in a clone in a clone. Well, you would have to. That's the only way real world cloning works.
Okay. Oh, then you're gonna have a huge problem with the 6th day.
All right. Well, let's go with it.
Let's go to artificial
Well, let's go
intelligence.
ahead. Well, no,
So
I'm not because I could put sci-fi to this. I mean, I could accept sci-fi
oh,
like it
okay.
is.
So go get back
Sci-fi.
to
It's
AI,
science
right?
fiction. It's not real.
So is this movie called
Yeah. Let's
AI?
get back to
Oh, it's
AI.
not
You have a
called.
problem with AI?
On this movie, it does because I thought the AI would be something the computer or the robot in this case will learn quickly, but it's not. This is not something that I see. But at the same time, I understand that because this is a child, so it's actually learning from a child's mind. I expect something like
Yeah.
Chappie, where it learns exponentially in a really
Oh, okay.
in speed, but
Yeah.
that's
Well,
not how it is in this one. It feels like this is
yeah.
just
I see
more
what
of
you're
a
saying.
robot movie
Well,
than
that's
artificial
well. You got to
intelligence.
think. This is called AI.
Hmm.
It's called artificial intelligence. He had artificial intelligence. His artificial intelligence programmed as a child and to stay a child forever. So that means he can never be Chappie because Chappie can learn and grow. This
Oh,
kid, if he grows, then he'll be an adult stuck in a child's body. They don't want that. They want him to be a kid. So there's several things he'll learn after a certain time. His programming probably eliminated, so he won't grow.
ah.
Because, like, remember, he kept thinking about the fairy. He wanted to be a real boy. He couldn't move past that. He could not. He was not even programmed to be able to accept that he could be anything else.
That is true.
See, in this movie, all these robots we see, they're all programmed to it. They're all programmed to an extent. They can't be anything other than what they're programmed to be. For like Gigolo Joe,
Yeah, Gigolo Joe.
he's very helpful right there, but he is just a tool. Yeah, Gigolo Joe.
He's
What
a
do you
tool.
know? But
So
he is a tool. That's the thing. He's just he never moves beyond his programming. He tries everything the kid says to him. He accepts it in a point, but he's like blue fairy. Okay, cool. Blue fairy's real because he would never have been programmed to understand fairy tales and stuff. He's probably never even heard of fairy tale because that's not his
that's
program.
his
That's not his
programming.
job.
Yeah, I did like that with
You
Gigolo
know?
Joe and like
Yeah,
with
all this
Jude
program.
Law's character, and then they even bring it up like sex
I
robots
mean,
because that's one of the
and,
people think of too. That was a good character
yeah,
for them to put in like a Gigolo Joe, not
yeah.
like a construction
Well, if
worker.
we ever get robots, well, if you ever get a robot that looks human, that's the only reason. That's the only field you'd really want them in, anyways.
Sex worker.
Do you need a robot that looks like a human in any other field? Well,
See, we
not
talked
that,
about
but I
that
mean,
too.
from that, you're gonna get somebody. It looks human, yeah. But they're gonna look human because if you want that, you want somebody that looks human and acts human.
Yeah, like I guess an alien.
But
That's
see,
how they got on this
he
robot
was, but
thing.
I can't say but he was a smart robot in a way because he did know how the world works. I mean, he didn't know about fairy tales and all that, but he does know how the world works. He knows humans hate them.
He
I mean,
does.
because when he grabs that kid, remember when the kid, yeah, when they get outside of Doctor No's
Yeah,
building, he tells that kid how life really is,
yeah,
and he's not wrong for it because he is correct.
yes, that's
I
true
mean, of
too.
course, later on things go good for the kid when the aliens pick him up. The only thing that goes good for this kid is because aliens get him.
So let's wait until the very end
That's the only
before.
reason
All
because
right,
aliens get him.
let's wait
He gets
until
a happy
let's
ending.
wait until the alien part. I want to go over everything else first. First of all, again every movie they have to have the hatreds of robots thing, right? And I was watching part of the movie with Heather, and she was like, "This looks the flesh fair," and she said, "This looks
Yeah,
very redneck and hillbillyish." I don't know. I think that's the point they're trying to prove, right? People who hate robots are going to be I want to say undereducated in a way, like when they say hillbillies and rednecks. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
that
wouldn't
kind
think
of
so.
people. No, I wouldn't think so either.
I mean,
But the way that
in this story,
Spielberg
but
does it, yeah,
yeah, the way they wanted, they make them like that. But that's the problem is if you're lived out on the edge of town, the only people who could probably get away with it is such type of people.
oh, those kind of people, right? When they just destroy those robots for fun.
Yeah, but there's people destroying robots because I mean they don't really get into it because what's his name? The main guy, his last name's Gleason. The actor's name is, that guy with the accent.
Uh
He apparently had a deep rooted anger against Android.
oh,
Anything that's
that guy,
not
yeah,
real.
the actor, yeah,
Yes, the actor's name last name is Gleason. But anyways, and we've seen him in a lot of movies. He
yeah,
wanted to destroy it because he didn't even care that was a little kid. So he tries to destroy that little kid,
yes.
and of course it backfires on him
It backfires.
because
That was a
nobody
good
wants
scene.
because it doesn't matter if he was a little kid or not. Really, all those people are seeing they couldn't see past it, and that's the thing. Even in this movie,
Oh, that
we
was a
think
good
this
scene then.
robot that we. And we also think this kid. We think this kid. We are looking at him. We keep thinking he's a kid, but he's
Yep.
not a kid. He's a
He
machine.
think he's real.
But
Yep.
the way is like I said in another one of our shows. When they look at him, it's the feelings that they feel. They
Yeah.
even know he's probably a robot, but they don't care
They don't
because
care
who
because it
wants to
looks, yeah.
destroy a little kid, whether it's a robot or not? Because they think they put on it, and they're also giving him a certain level of intelligence.
Intelligence
But
and
you got to remember,
emotions.
he will never be as intelligent as any of the other robots that were destroyed.
So,
He
so
may be built better and stuff. And we keep saying because even it fools John Hurt's characters too in a way.
um,
Because remember they go looking for him. He goes, "Oh, you're special. You're the greatest thing ever." And the thing is, all because you went looking for this deal. But I'm like, well, that's because your programming limited him to this point.
yes,
So he really never grew. And you're confused because even John Hart's character has got to remember he built the kid because he lost his son.
he lost his son, and I
So
think
he
that's
was
some
suffering
drive
from
and
saying,
motivation for him in this movie
yeah,
about like yeah,
because he never thought because he lost his son. He thinks, well, I wish I had my David forever and ever, and he'd never grow up. And
oh,
that's what he built, and he put it on that other woman, and that other woman got stuck with it,
yep,
Monica. She
So
couldn't grow past it. Of course, the dad couldn't accept it all because he works at a place that builds robots. So every time you looked at him, it's just a robot.
so on that transition in this whole movie, the beginning, right, with the scene with the mother, like the loss of a child, and then the child comes back, but the acceptance of the robot, that was really well done. Okay, I mean for this movie, even the
To a point.
so yeah, to a point. So even for the dad in this movie, I felt that like it's true. Even like how it tells me like all men want to do is solve a problem when sometimes women doesn't want that. They just want to be heard, and then there's no resolution needed. And it feels like, what do you need to tell me then? Like, there's no resolution needed. They just want to get it out. And I feel like the husband, right? Henry was his name, and
Yes.
he just want to make sure, like, he just want to make sure he doesn't see his wife in pain anymore. So that's why he brought the
Yeah.
robot home, and I do like that. Um, it shows the awkward and creepiness of that. Like, of I like that this kid is also David, also like kind of like Prometheus and Alien
Yeah.
Covenant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, here we go, we got ourselves another David. And then they also have the scene, you could buy David or Darlene wholesale. So it's kind of like the scene in Alien Resurrection with all the Ripley's. Like that's what I was putting my mind into. Okay, but then of all these weird things, like we talk about, like, hey, a kid that would never grow up, right? But the things that I do love having a robot child is like, oh my god, it is very obedient. Me and Hetty can go out, right? And we don't have to worry about this kid hurting themselves because it
Yeah.
would never do things like that.
Yeah. But you think about it though. You got this kid after you get tired of it though,
Oh,
you throw it in the trash. Could you? But you don't want to take care of it forever. Because see, that thing is they're imprinted to that person. You can't they
they'll
can't
destroy
move
it.
on
Yeah.
beyond that point. They can't move because he even pretty much just jumped in the ocean, committed suicide in a way.
Oh, that's. Oh,
Because all those emotions and the emotions aren't even real. That's the sad thing. And see, the funny thing is, we still feel bad for this robot. You watch this movie, you felt for that robot, right?
so I did not. I feel felt
But
bad for
he's
the
just,
robot.
but he's just a robot.
What's really craziest? Remember the first time I told you like, oh, artificial intelligence wasn't that good at the movie, right? So I forgot a lot of the scenes, but I do remember like Jude Law turning on the radio like by clicking his neck.
It's
But
just
the
freaky.
weird thing is, I was like, okay, it was like way more than an hour into the movie, and I'm thinking like, this movie is not that bad as I remember. Okay,
It's
like
okay. It's still too
yo, it's
long,
okay. It's
man.
really very long, and I was like, why did I not like this movie? It wasn't until the end, but then we'll save that for later because still start stuff I want to talk about, like
Because
Doctor
like,
No. Like Doctor No
yeah,
is
Doctor No.
Robin Williams' voice,
Yeah. How long
and
did it take you to figure out that was Robin Williams, though?
it didn't take me very long because the first thing I noticed that the I guess the AR of Doctor No reminds me of Doctor Wily from Mega Man series.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was
Well,
like,
that's what it
what the
reminded me of
heck?
too. That's funny because it did look like Dr. Wiley.
It did, and I was like, then I could like, oh, this sounds like Robin Williams.
Yeah, I figured it. I
Immediately,
was, I
I
was
thought
like,
that
this
was
is
pretty
Robert
cool.
Williams. Yeah, it is. Since he played another robot we talked about.
And so before
You
we
saw
go
Chris
on,
Rock too.
oh, I saw Chris Rock. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Meryl
Um,
Streep was supposed to be a robot in this too.
I think Meryl Streep was the robot. I can't remember which one
She
it was.
was.
Was she
I
the
don't remember
maid?
either. I can't remember
The
if that was
maid
her or not.
robot?
I didn't think it was.
But well, first of all, I would never destroy robots in any kind of way because that's still a useful tool. That like, why would you destroy thousands of dollars for the heck of it, right? I want to ask you something. So now we've seen most of these robots. I don't know. I'm really torn between either Bicentennial Man or this one, being which is the better one of the two. But then
Oh,
I don't like Bicentennial Man that much because I wrote in the notes like, do we really need to give robot functions that are not needed by robots, like dreams, sex? Unless it's like the Gigolo thing, but that's different. But like, if
yeah.
the robot is functioning by itself, if I have a butler robot, do I need my butler robot going out having sexual, like, I'm sorry, coitus? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why? And I'm like, that's the only thing I don't like about Bicentennial Man. I understand what they were
Yeah, but
doing.
I didn't think he could do that at first. I think he had to get all his parts put in,
He had to
and
get all the parts put in.
and he requested that.
Yeah, but then that's also weird too. I don't want a robot that can think for itself. Okay, I would
Yeah,
like
well,
a
nobody
Terminator.
does. That's no way. That's
Yeah.
why everybody. That's why in this movie nobody wanted. They got tired of robots thinking for themselves. That's why they were destroying them at a fair.
Yes.
But the problem is the fair that they're going to destroy them is no different than real steel.
It's no different from Real Steel and no different from Blade Runner. Robots that
Well,
can think
Blade
for
Runner too.
themselves.
Well, yeah, well, Blade Runner doesn't factor into this because Blade Runner, they're all on the run and they're just trying to hunt them down, kill them but they don't really have fairs
No,
where they destroy robots in arenas. Because
not yet.
this is basically the gladiator part. Because
Yeah.
when you remember when the Romans didn't like somebody, they put them out and entertained them with blood
Yep.
loss. Here they just destroy them, and you got some guy that looks like a skeleton Kid Rock on the stage
Chris
singing.
Rock.
No, Kid Rock.
Oh, Kid Rock. Yes, yes.
And because I thought the guy looked like Kid Rock, and all of a sudden Chris Rock shows up. I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, this is just weird."
That was very funny. Uh,
And they
I
shoot him
don't-
to a fan.
yeah, it's just like, what is the? It feels like when they make
And the neat
this
thing was
movie.
the moon. The neat thing is the moon. Remember when they hunt him down?
Oh
with the moon?
yeah, for the moon, like
I guess because probably something in their program probably can't differentiate between a real moon and a fake moon.
oh, that's how
And
they get them.
of course, they may think they're supposed to go towards the moon to go towards a place where it's safe for robots.
Oh, so it's
Because you remember, because see, they actually trap them down. Because remember, they go out in the woods and they throw all this junk out there.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's right. They throw the.
That's
junk
just
out
to
there
bring the
get
robot.
that-
That's just the bringing of the robot. Yeah, the whole
Sounds
thing
like
was to trap
fishing.
robots. Yeah, they're just hunting robots. Because did they think wasn't it weird to you just go? Why would you just come out and dump robot parts out in the middle of nowhere?
Oh, that was just trash days, like one of those illegal
See,
dumpings.
it's not though. That's not.
No,
'cause you don't
it's
see
not
trash
after.
anywhere else.
Yeah, after I saw that, yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
This. I don't know what
It's,
Spielberg's
I mean,
trying to do here, but
as far as ethical reasons, this is a pretty good movie. As
oh,
far as
ethical
just,
reason, yes.
just sitting there for entertainment,
It's
it's
not
too
that
long
good.
for me.
Yeah, you had to be in the mood. It's kind of like we're doing this for the robot stuff. It's good that we put this in this category. What we're doing, like, hey, let's
Well,
watch robots, you know. But if you
I
and I
don't-
were just watching this out of the blue, like, oh, this movie kind of sucks.
Yeah, well, the problem is from when they get the robot all the way to where it gets good takes an hour.
Yes.
You know, because it's from that to where they take them to the fair, the flesh fair.
Yeah.
It's an hour. And I
It
thought,
is.
man, if you could just speed that up a little bit.
See, it's like the
'Cause
same
rest
thing
of
with
the movies, 'cause
Bicentennial
the
Man.
rest of the movie goes pretty fast.
The pacing of that is like Bicentennial Man too. Like after you have the doctor from Jurassic Park, I can't remember his name right now. Sam Neill. Sam Neill. Like his family part, like I think it had to set the ground to the foundation of
Yeah,
like,
but
the humans. Yeah.
but they got to figure out a way because still, if I'm sitting here thinking it's too much and you're thinking it's too much, then it's too much.
But you know what's really
I think-
crazy? We watched
What?
iRobot too, and the foundation was set within the first 10 minutes. It wasn't
Yeah.
like that long.
I think they could have figured out a better way to do
They
it.
could have,
than
but
they did.
they didn't do it
But
like
you know-
iRobot, you know?
Yeah, they didn't do it like I wrote.
Like iRobot set it up really quick. He
Hey,
had
let
a
me
real
ask you
hatred
this:
too. Yeah.
Do you like this? Do you like iRobot better than this one?
Oh, I love iRobot better than this one.
Okay.
I do. I think it's just because of the action, the faster pacing. This is
Yeah.
very slow.
Okay.
The
I would
ending
watch.
was
Here's the
not
sad thing.
good.
I don't know.
didn't
I
the
like
ending.
iRobot. I don't know. I like iRobot better than this one. But I'd
Ooh.
watch iRobot before I'd watch this one just because I can get it over quicker.
Yes. See,
And that's the
Same
sad thing
feel.
to say about a movie. Though, if you want to get a movie over really quickly, then you
So-
don't really enjoy it.
so since you brought that up, right? Like, if I want to teach kids about ethics, morals, I would show them this movie.
I
Because-
actually probably wouldn't show anybody this.
I mean, like for my kids, because David
Yeah.
is a young age and they are trying to learn, right? So that way, like, let me get my son to watch this. But at the same time, I would show them Chappie also, because it's the same
Yeah.
learning curve that these robots have to go through. But
Actually, I don't think a kid would be old enough to get all this because I mean I watched this a long time ago. I didn't watch it when I was a kid,
Oh.
but still I got more out of it now than I did then. So I don't think
I'm
you're-
so glad you brought that up. I did too.
I think this had to be a movie that you want to watch
When you're
or you've seen
older.
before, and then you got to watch again.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you got to sit and think about it. And I think people who have children will get more out of it than.
Oh, good. So I'm so glad you brought that up. So I want to piggyback on what you just said. So when this came out in 2001, right? So I was 21 at the time, and I didn't like. Okay, I kind of guessed what they did with the family, the loss. But now I'm at the age with kids, right? Oh, I understand that part so much better, and I question myself. And me and Heather will agree, like, I don't want a robot child, but the possibility of cloning, kind of like, if they clone exactly to, let's just say, age 11, it would be great. I mean, like, I don't want to go through, like, the baby phase again. Like, when you clone it, it's gotta be from. It's kind of like the movie I told you about. It's called
Yeah, what's
Swan
the
Song.
problem? The problem, yeah, well, the problem with that is that's never going to
That
happen.
never
That's
gonna
just
happen,
not.
but it
That's
just
just not the
yeah,
way cloning
yeah.
works,
But
and
and
that's
I
what hurts cloning technology because
they don't want to start over,
no, what
right?
helps hurts cloning technology because everybody believes all the sci-fi aspects to it. It's
Mm.
the same thing as regular procreation. It's just you're using the exact same DNA.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm not going all. Let's just clone everything. But the problem is, you could clone certain things to fix problems in this world. But since people don't want to, then you can't use cloning. So
Oh, I
we can't
understand
use
now.
cloning. We don't grow in that area of science due
Oh,
to the facts that people think, oh, we can make a fully formed another lamb. Cloning will never produce another lamb. It will produce somebody who has every genetic similarity to you, but will not be you.
whoa. So in a way, it sounds like we could create our own multiverse in a way in the same universe. Because like if you call
Well,
like you
that
said, if you
is
clone me,
that
it's like
I
a
wish I could
different
reach
version of
the
Lamb.
yeah, I kind of wish I could reach to the screen and slap you upside the head, but it's
I know
just
what I
it's
said was really something really stupid, but
yeah, it was. That's what I was
but
trying to say.
then yeah, you're right. So it's kind of like, well, we will have to watch the 6 days so we can continue on this conversation. But I'll get back to
Well,
robots. But like watching all of these, right? I think my most favorite kind of robot is going to be either like it's going to be Chappie. I don't want a robot
I
that
like
looks very human
that's
like.
what I would agree with you. My favorite robot up until this point was always well, I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff, but for
Mm-hmm.
my longest point in my life, Johnny Five, the Short Circuit, is one of my favorite robots.
Yeah. You know what?
I would have picked him over. I would have picked him over R2D2, C3PO, and several other robots that I've seen.
So the thing I don't like about like I love Short Circuit. I like
But I
Johnny
was
Number Five.
also I want to also point out before we get too far. I was also a big fan, and a lot of people don't like it. Lost in Space, the movie with
Oh yeah,
Matthew LeBlanc. I actually like the first robot.
I like to say Matt LeBlanc instead of John Hurts, even though I think John Hurts was a bigger actor in that whole movie than
Yeah,
Matt
he was, but
LeBlanc.
he's but
And
we've
so
kind
is
of.
Lacey Cooper, right? Because
I wouldn't say that she's bigger than him. Well, she is probably still
they're
acting.
probably on
Yeah,
the yeah, like they were on
the
a
same
TV show,
level
yeah,
because
same level.
they both had TV shows. Most people that went to the theater,
For
unless you're
Matt
older,
LeBlanc,
didn't really know who John Hurt was.
yeah, that's yeah,
We even said, is it John Hurt?
it's John Hurt.
Okay.
He's
I
in the
thought there was
movie.
an English actor named John Hurt.
Well, no, it's John Hurt. Right? God, dang it! Now you gotta make me check my facts.
Even though we do know he's in all the Marvel movies. Which I also want to point out. Did you see Agent Coulson? Remember Agent Coulson?
He was in the
When they
beginning, right? I can't remember.
no, when they show up when they're in the
Oh,
office,
well,
they
yeah, when the
find the
office,
robot. He
when they
goes up
found
there
him,
and he
yeah,
goes, "Hey, we
was
just
that
found the robot."
Coulson? Because that's
Yeah,
not
that's Agent
okay.
Coulson.
That's what I thought too.
I mean, that's not his real name, but
I was thinking like, was that him? Because he was a lot younger, obviously. You know.
yeah, he was way. Yes, William Hurt. This is
Oh,
William Hurt.
William Hurt. Never mind.
John
Yes,
Hurt. John Hurt is an English
John Hurt's
actor.
in this movie. Yeah, William Hurt. There's
No,
so much.
William Hurt is in this movie. John Hurt is not in this
Oh,
movie.
William Hurt. Okay, yeah, I got it.
John
Yeah.
Hurt is another actor. William Hurt is the one that played what
I
was
got
he?
the
The
names
Secretary
mixed
of
up.
War in the Marvel
Let me see what
universe.
John Hurt looks like.
John
Oh
Hurt
yeah,
was
John Hurt
in
is different. Yeah,
He's in Doctor Who.
he's in Doctor Who. Yeah,
Well, he
William Hurt's what
played
I'm thinking of.
one Doctor. Yeah, William Hurt. I
Yeah,
figured that.
William Hurt.
I'm sure that's what hurts his. I'm sure what hurts Williams hurts, which he's passed away.
Yeah. Oh yeah, William passed
William
away.
Hurt. Well, I'm sure John Hurt.
Okay. Got me all thinking about whatever.
But yeah,
So-
he plays a scientist in this movie too.
So did you like this movie? Second time around?
That was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay
It was
to me
okay.
too.
It was okay.
But
I mean,
I
it
still didn't
was,
like
like
it
I
as
said,
much.
it's still, yeah, I like it about the same as, I mean, and it reminds me, it's pretty much the same as the first time I watched it. Nothing's really changed for me that much in
Yeah,
this movie
nothing's
from when I
changed
watched
for
it.
me. Except
I mean,
for age and how I think about stuff now. Like how I interpret
Yeah,
this
I
movie
can't even
now.
say how I think it changed that much for this movie. Because I still think about aliens and they and did this and stuff. But it's neat. You have a problem with aliens? Did you have a problem? Do you want to go ahead and jump to the alien part?
Okay, so
We can go back to other parts later.
I
if we
put
still have
a
time.
note in here, right? what is up with Steve and aliens? Like, did he needed the aliens in this movie? The only thing that I like about the aliens is that when the alien was getting into the memories of David, and
Yeah.
then the other aliens that just had to touch, I love that form of communication. Everybody's on the same page. There's no word of mouth. That's the only thing I love about seeing with the aliens.
So
Okay,
you would trade in your humanity for that?
oh no, I wouldn't have to train man. Like if we could have the same technology, like hey, just touch me here, and like okay, I got all
No,
the
I
same
don't want it.
information as you.
I don't want all that. I don't
I
want
do because I don't want like your word of mouth. Like that's not what you told me happened. Well, this is kind of like a version. Like, man,
Yeah,
forget
but you
that.
may see it. But you may see it. Interpret it. What like say if you want to touch me and you if things pull on my thoughts, you may interpret it different, and then we may have a misunderstanding. You're gonna be Shane, we're not friends now, and I'll be like, why? Because you saw the picture wrong, because you misinterpreted it wrong instead of listening to me tell you what I'm saying. You saw it wrong.
That's
See?
funny. No, no, no. I want like because you see the aliens thinking like seeing the same kind of memories David having. Like, oh, I
Yeah,
like that a
but
lot.
this still leaves it open for. I mean, even me and you could stand on the corner and watch something happen, and me and you probably gonna see it exactly different. Just
So
like when we watch movies, we talk about it. We see
yeah,
some of the movies different.
yeah. So the thing that I didn't like right after that is I
Okay.
know they probably did it for that time in 2001. They don't do this in 2020 something anymore. Is that the aliens spoke English? I didn't like that. Like, give him what he wants. Like, why are they speaking English?
But
Like,
they were subtitled originally, so they weren't speaking English.
I mean, but then they were. It's kind of like that Hunt for Red October, right?
You don't
It's like
like that? I like that. I don't want to read subtitles the whole stinking
because
movie, man.
that's different. Because like I would like to just listen to like it could be some kind of made up language. But then you say you don't like reading subtitles. But you know what? I haven't watched enough Star Trek. Every time they speak Klingon on their subtitles.
Yeah, but some of us can speak going on.
Yeah,
Joey Chubby's.
but then not a lot of people can speak Klingon. Like, let's just say if you didn't speak Klingon, you would have to read the
I don't
subtitles.
speak
I
Klingon.
would like
I'm
the
not that good.
authenticity of if the aliens just
Okay,
keep speaking
okay,
their tongue.
okay. Well,
They
I
did
get
that
that.
for the audience, and
I
I
get that.
don't
And
like
like you
that.
said, in Star Trek, I do like to read the subtitles when they speak English. But in this, I didn't need it.
Yeah, but I feel like
Because at that point, I'm like, just come on, just let's just move the story. You don't have to be that creative. And
so.
maybe they started speaking English to each other because they picked up that language and they probably enjoyed it. Because you got to think they
I like
immersed
that you make
themselves.
that up for them.
Well, no,
They
but they
enjoyed
know
it.
that you did. They even said it. They immersed themselves in the human language,
Oh, kind of like
and they
the
had to speak. They had to speak English to him.
kind of like the Autobots.
Yeah. Well, they also had to. Well,
Oh, here's
because
another robot movie.
well, they remember they're sitting there and they're telling David about why they love humanity.
Oh yeah,
So
I don't know
most
why, but
likely
yeah.
they loved our music. I know. Like we're really going to stand out that much. If somebody finds our world, they're going to go, "Ooh, skyscrapers! Wow, look at all this trash that we found down in the ice. Look at this. We found a homeless man. We found pee on the side of the corner. Like, I mean, I know New York loves themselves and they're great in this amazing looking city. But if it ever gets frozen and stuff and they find it, I don't know if they're going to be that impressed because they're going to go, "We flew all the way through space, and you're going to think a skyscraper is impressive to us."
I don't know. I don't
But
know
I
if
guess it could
impressive
be.
to us
But I guess
anymore.
it could be. I guess it could be because you got to think. We have all kinds of technology, and we think that the pyramids are impressive, and they are to me. I find it. We find fossils. It's like, wow, look at this. This is amazing. I found all this stuff,
Well, I think it's
and I
also
do.
behind out of the beholder, right? It just depends on what you find interesting.
Yeah, I guess
It's
it
kind of
depends
like
on what you
I
find
was on
interesting.
Facebook the other day, and one of my friends like, "Hey, what is the big deal about Disney? Why are so many people into it?" Like, I think it just depends on the individual. Like, if you
Maybe,
find something you like, right, and someone's not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not a big fan of whatever it is
but
you're a fan
but
of."
I mean, the point is though, these aliens have picked up humanity like, oh, they're the greatest thing that we've ever seen, and they wish we could be
That's
them.
yeah, that's just for
I
storytelling. I
know,
know.
but that's what the thing. And of course, they
Yeah,
talk to the kid. It's in English. I
and they
was
talk
going
to a
somewhere with
robot.
this. Yeah, they're talking about. Well, they knew he was a robot immediately too, and
Yeah.
they also knew he was the only one left that could tell the story and show them how humans behave.
Yeah, because they know he was the first model, like the first.
And
Yeah,
they already,
because so they know a lot of the history.
yeah, they know how, and they did know apparently by
Maybe
the
they were
time.
searching for that robot. Like it's kind of like Bicentennial Man. He's going to look over the other models that he was the same as him. So the aliens are like, I would like to study more Earth history. So we need to find like in an even older model generation of this robot that we could learn from. That's
Yeah,
why they
well,
touch him.
they just know him though. They knew his model though. kept up all the records.
Yeah.
Because they realized that they could wake up humans and they'd only last a day and then they'd go to sleep.
Hmm.
So they'd get all the feelings because everything was apparently they say it was imprinted in their DNA. So they'd be exactly like, let's say I could get your DNA, get some hair, boom, I can make you, but you'd only last for a day because you're not alive anymore.
Ooh. Did you like that part with the aliens
That
making?
one, I mean, it's okay. I was okay with it because it was just part of the movie. And it's not the greatest thing. It wasn't the greatest. None of this alien part was that good, but it did give a resolution to David. And it
Did
gave
you
you the
like the
happy
resolution?
ending.
Let's go over the ending right now. So it's a happy ending for him, but obviously.
Well, well, not really. The movie ended on a happy ending because you got to think if David didn't die, I don't know, was he supposed to die at the end and never wake up? Because if
Like
he
after
wakes
the
up,
Frozen thing?
because when he wakes up, his mom's gone and he's back all over again with his programming unless the aliens reprogram him. He's done.
Oh.
He's finished. He's going to want the whole thing all over again.
So the ending is no resolution. There's no
The
resolution.
ending had to stop there so it could stop and
so
you
we
could
can
just be
stop the
done
movie
with it,
and
get
go
up
home.
and you walk out smiling. But the problem is if you're the stop and actually think, well, if this was supposed to go on, then boom, you got a whole nother story where he's hunting how to make his mommy again. So it doesn't end there.
Yeah, I didn't.
See, the robots would have to make them actually make the aliens would have to make him die or go to sleep because it says he goes and finally dreams.
Yes.
Maybe he does after that. He moves beyond his programming and he starts to grow. He'll always look like a little. Let me tell you this though, while we're doing this, my favorite part of the whole movie. There's only one thing I love the most in this movie.
Okay.
Teddy.
Oh.
I want one of those.
So that's a toy, right?
That's a toy.
That's
it's called,
the
what do they
artificial
call it?
intelligence.
Yeah, that is the artificial
That
intelligence.
toy is the artificial intelligence.
Because it's programmed to all kinds of stuff. It also tells him several times, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah, I don't think this is the guy that
This is like
David,
you're gonna
if
break
you do
it.
this.
You're gonna break it. You're gonna
oh.
break it, David. You're gonna break it. It's kind of like your mom. It is made to keep an eye on your kids.
For your kids, yes.
Because most likely, if your kid's doing something dumb, Teddy's gonna run in there and tell you.
Because
hey,
you know what? Teddy also had
kid.
facial expressions too.
Yeah, he had facial. He was a super toy, is what it said.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? You're right. That's the only thing about love this movie. And I forgot about Teddy.
But here's the neat thing though. If you think about this movie, this is several movies in one, but the biggest point of the movie, this is Pinocchio.
Yep. So it's another Pinocchio movie.
Well, it is Pinocchio in a way because you got to think, but there are some people missing. But it goes through the stuff because you remember the Pinocchio story. Pinocchio does get captured.
Yeah.
And almost killed. So, but the thing is, that means Teddy is Jiminy Cricket.
Oh,
because Jiminy Cricket is
Jiminy
his conscience.
Cricket.
Remember, he doesn't have a conscience. The teddy bear is the conscience.
Whoa!
But here's the neat thing: it's also kind of a mix, though, because in the middle of the story, after that hour point, it's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it is the
Wizard of Oz. Because Gigolo Joe is pretty much all the characters that Dorothy meets.
Yes.
He's more the Tin Man than anything. And where do they do? They go to see the wizard.
The wizard, which is Dr. No.
Get the answers.
Yeah, get the answers.
And it turns out, and here's the funny thing, Dr. No turns out it's a hidden trick.
Yeah, it's a hidden trick of the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, the man behind the curtains is the person who created him. Even though they go, we only intervened once. Yeah. I'm like, why did he have to point it out to him that they have only intervened once?
Because they found the one that they were looking for.
Because they probably intervened several other times and he was just lying.
Oh, man. Oh, this movie just became a little bit better for me. Now that you pointed out, like the Pinocchio factor, the Wizard of Oz, that was really good. I like the Jiminy Cricket thing.
And there's other fairy tale stuff because she leaves him out in the woods and tells him never go this way, don't do this, and then of course she tells him because she didn't ever teach him nothing. But the problem is he probably would only learn so much.
He can only learn so much. Yeah.
She never really told him anything. But the problem is they never really treated him like a real boy, anyways. Because he stayed in the bed for a while, but when they got his real son back, he slept on the floor or sat in the corner just like exactly like Teddy. He was just another Teddy for their son.
He's another super toy.
Yeah, who's just another super toy.
Which would be kind of cool, actually.
Well, in a way, but like I said, you're stuck. That one is needy. David needs people. He's a needy person. He's going to be that way
because he's seeking
forever.
out for protection and love, which
So
they
that's the
show
thing.
that.
So
Yeah.
the thing is, these people that sell these toys, they never think about it. They got to get them back, and they have to destroy them. Or what are they going to do? Take them back, reprogram, and give them another couples
I don't see why you can't
once you
reprogram a
grow out of it. But
robot.
see, the problem is once you do all that, you don't grow out of your kids. Do you ever grow out of your kids? You think
So I can tell you what this would be very useful for. If they can make a dog like David, I would be all for it. Oh my gosh.
a dog? Because basically that's what David was.
So yeah, like a dog that
And
I don't have to.
and when
Oh,
they got tired of the dog, they take about outside the town
oh,
and they
if I
just
have a
drop him
dog like
off.
this, I would never be tired of it. It doesn't poop because it doesn't eat. It's great. It's super obedient. Oh my gosh, it's the
And you got
perfect
to take care of
companion.
it
A
forever.
robot dog. Oh, it's easy to take care of.
Okay, well that would have made more sense though.
It
That
would,
would have
right?
honestly made more sense.
It
But
would
see,
make better sense.
people still get tired of stuff because I mean people take living animals out and just leave them.
So that's all happens a lot to where I'm living, right? That
That
still
happens a
happens
lot. I live out there
today.
as a country too, so that happens a lot where a lot of us live.
Really?
So nobody likes that. Nobody enjoys that.
No, nobody enjoyed that, right? And like, man, I wish I could find this guy. And what
I
happens is,
wish I wish that dog would find those people
so that's so
and
that's two
eat those
things. Oh,
people.
I do too. So that's two things. One is about strays. Me and Heather watched that the other day, which was really funny. And the other thing is like right before I sign on, I was just going on Facebook. There's a fire station close to my house. Someone just tied a dog to a post close to the fire station because someone posted made a post around my neighborhood. Hey, is anybody missing a dog or know where this dog lives? Because we found this dog just tied to a post to a fire station. And I'm pretty sure that if you put a post like that, whoever did that is not gonna respond. That's my dog, right?
Yeah, it would. Well, a
So
dumb person.
yeah. So
But you
we
got to
saw.
think.
Hold on. We
No, go
saw that
ahead.
movie Strays, right? What you said about those people, like those people who leave the dogs behind. They don't do the proper thing. Like, hey, if you can't take care of the animal, it's fine. Do everything you can to rehome that animal, right? Don't just leave it out somewhere. Don't take it to the shelter because that's not a good choice. A lot of people trying to do that, but don't. When I saw
And sometimes it
Strays,
would be a shelter would be a better choice than taking out in the wild than
it
leaving it in the
depends on which
wild.
shelter. It depends on which shelter too. In
Yeah, but still,
Stray, they
anyway, any point would be better than taking them out and just
you,
leaving them somewhere.
you need to watch that movie Stray. Just watch the first 30 minutes. Why? Was it Will Forte, the character? He's the one who trying to get rid of the dog, right? Because it's girlfriends or ex-girlfriends. And you, even though you're laughing your butt off the whole time, and I point out to Heather like he's playing the character that I hate. Like sincerely, I'm gonna beat this guy with a baseball bat because what he's doing, right? And I'm like, oh, who would do this such the things to this animal? This guy. But it's so funny when you watch it. I understand this is a movie, but like yeah, but go. It's kind of like what the mom did. She just dumped the robot, and I feel like what if someone find this robot, right? And then like they take it back to the factory, they're gonna know like, hey lady, or was it? Well, I forgot the mom's name. Like, did you
Well, they
just
already knew. They already know though, because they just took it out of the woods. Because most likely they're supposed to have taken it back and dropped it off.
yeah, because they were
So they already
destroyed.
knew they were going to destroy it, but they already knew there was something wrong. But apparently they knew something was wrong because how did they already know this robot was special? Or were they hunting hundreds of different robots they thought were special?
David was the only one, right?
Well,
I mean, from
no,
that.
apparently David may have been the other ones. I'm thinking now because we thought he was, but it's kind of weird that they automatically assumed because he didn't really even know all the problems that they were looking for.
Hmm.
Isn't it kind of weird they all of a sudden started looking for it before they even knew that he was looking for a fairy that turned him into a real boy?
Oh, I like that part too. The blue
They
fairy
were
thing.
hunting. They were because they were hunting him before that.
They were.
Yeah, because remember they after the flesh fair they go, oh, we found him,
Oh
and
yeah. So
he still hasn't asked the question to go in the
wait.
computer.
So you're saying that Henry stole that robot, or that no? The robot was given to that
The
family.
robot was given to them under special conditions.
Oh, so they were monitoring him the whole time.
They must have. Well, they had to sign all these waivers and stuff.
So they
They
know
could not.
when David was out of his perimeter or something,
Well,
probably.
eventually, I'm sure he told them that we're bringing David back to destroy him
Hmm.
because the husband didn't like the robot.
So those couple of things I don't like.
But it
First, like
never explains. Like I said, how do they think David's special?
okay, they don't explain David special. Let me get back on that. I didn't
Okay.
like that the scissors thing. they just assumed that the robot was crazy, and then they.
Here's another thing I want to put that up before we go too far. The
Okay.
scissors thing. We've seen another Spielberg movie with scissors for dating.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
Minority Report.
Minority Report. It
Yeah,
reminded me of Minority
yeah.
Report. But now you go on.
And the other thing was when David was scared, like, oh, protect, save me, Matthew, keep me from
Yeah.
getting harmed, and they just took it as David's jealousy trying to kill Matthew. Like, oh, this is
Yeah.
so stupid.
Well, they're
But
supposed to do that though.
yeah, they're just to try to get the story along, moving along.
Yeah, because
I
well,
just
see,
had
the
a
thing is,
problem
they
with
don't
that.
ever care. Because if the robot does something, they'll just destroy it because they don't like robots. It's just something you can just throw in trash. Because the same thing with Joe. What do you know?
Joe, what do you know?
Remember that lady gets murdered by somebody else, not him.
Oh, I
But
know.
he already knows he's going to get destroyed because of that.
Yep,
Because all that the husband just has to blame it on. Oh
the
well, he picked
robot.
up on. Yep, just blame it on that. But okay,
That's an interesting fact. I mean, interesting tidbit that. So basically, you can commit murder and then just blame it on robot.
yeah, and they know that robot can't kill anybody.
So
That's the
what's
sad
really
thing.
funny is like it contradicts the obviously the iRobot thing, right? But then makes me think like, really, they just gonna believe the robot killed it right away without?
Well, they don't probably don't even care that the robot. See, that's the thing. It's not really the robot killed him because they probably already know the robot didn't kill her. They're going to think that the robot is the one that seduced her, and it's the husband's jealousy. It's what the robot made the husband jealous, and that husband's going to get off
Wow,
because
literally.
he goes to go, oh, my wife is cheating on me with a robot, and then people feel sorry for him and go, okay, let's destroy the robot,
Because
and we're
that
going to
take care
let
of the
you,
problem.
and we're going to let you go free, even though that you murdered your wife. That's not a problem. It works that way in the real life,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, Gigolo Joe. Okay, so let's come off that scene when Joe first got arrested, right? It really bothered me that it was so easy for David to take over the helicopter. That was the most unrealistic thing I ever want to
Oh,
see
oh
ever.
yeah. Well, apparently, I mean, come on, police leave their cop cars open all the time. Like they think nobody can drive it away, and they get driven away.
And it was just so easy, and I'm like,
Well,
okay,
he probably had to understand, but he didn't fly that easily. It was Joe that took over and flew it easily.
yeah. But it's
But
just
again,
still him
but
getting
again,
inside.
the controls on those things must have been by that time be easy because we don't even know what time period this is. This is a long
No,
time
it's
because the
they don't
ocean's
say, yeah.
flooded. Here's because it also bothers
Oh,
me
they
that
talk about
like
the goal, yeah.
because you know what bothered me the most is like all that froze in 2,000 years. 2,000 years. I don't think in 2,000 years it's gonna freeze like that. Not in 2,000 years.
This is the fake world though. But the other thing I really like
That's
that the thing that I really like, I mean, like the Frozen thing didn't bother me, so that way just get the story
oh, it didn't
moving,
bother
right?
me. I just thought it was funny. They go 2,000 years. I'm like, oh, I think more
More
than
than
two
two
thousand
thousand,
years would
yeah.
pass.
But the other thing I really like, one of the things I really like besides Ted, right? This one remind me of too. When Ted came along, like, oh my god, maybe Step my fall and
Oh
went
yeah,
a whole storyline with this. The other thing I love is the helicopter turning into a submarine.
yeah. Apparently that helicopter could do everything.
It could
Because I
drive
mean,
too,
it was
right?
there. I don't think it would drive,
Oh,
but
okay,
I
but
mean,
it
it
flies
probably
and
would
skid
go
in the water.
underwater. I mean, that made sense to me. I didn't bother
Yeah,
me at all because I thought, well, why wouldn't it? It's advanced technology. Look at it,
yeah. So
and it's a
yeah,
police. So apparently, and most of the world is now more ocean than
more
it
ocean than
is
yeah, and you either fly
land.
or get in the water. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I
it
did
makes
like that
sense.
a lot.
It is weird though that the computer company that built David's headquarters was in New York, and they kept it the whole time.
They kept it the whole time.
Well, because remember he flies out to Manhattan and he goes in that building. And it has a helipad and everything to
Oh
land
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
most of that building was underwater with the
Oh,
statues for that building on it. So apparently they've had that building forever.
oh, that's right. I didn't pay attention to
They
that.
must have just retrofitted it for the part of it to take water and blow it out the lion's mouths and then live in the top part. And they figured nobody'd ever come out there to the bottom of it
Hey,
because half of Manhattan's falling apart.
I want to talk about this. Did you like that underwater Disneyland?
I thought that was weird, but it would they would need it
Yeah,
to tell the
to
story
tell the
on instead
story.
of
Yeah.
them. Otherwise, he'd have to fly all the way to the Florida or fly all the way to somewhere else. And plus, this wasn't a Disney movie, so they couldn't
No,
call it
no,
Disneyland.
they
I
didn't
mean,
call it anything. They just like you just understand it as an underwater
it's just a
amusement
theme
park.
park. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was just a musical park.
which is like a fairy tale theme park. That's what I got it as. Because come on,
Yeah.
they have Pinocchio, right? And like that's why they find the blue
Well,
fairy, you
Pinocchio,
know?
yeah. Well, Pinocchio's not owned by Disney
No, it's not.
anyways.
It's not.
So,
But I feel
well,
like Disney probably used it
they're
to monetize
Pinocchios.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've taken all the fairy tales. That's how they made their living. They took other people's stories and improved them.
Yep. And
Well, or
or
told them
just
really
tell them.
well,
They
their
even
point of
yep.
view.
Yeah,
Because
because
I
all
mean,
these
they
fairy tales
because
is
the
for
real Pinocchio
boy.
story is not going to have Jiminy Cricket in it.
Oh, the real fairy tale stories are all horrible.
Yeah, some of them are. Some are a little darker.
It's kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like I told Heather, like, hey, the Ninja Turtle movie. I mean, the comic books only like 2 issues, right? She's like, really? Yeah, because at the end when they meet Shredder, they kill him, and then that's it. That's the whole Turtle series. The Ninja Turtle series is over
Yeah.
after they kill Shredder.
I was lucky. I never read that one. I read the Archie version of the Teenage Turtles. I still got all of them
A
too.
lot of us did. I don't think I read the real version until I was like 11 or 10.
Yeah, I still never got their real version.
Yeah.
Never, yeah, Eastman and Laurie. I
It's like
never got a hold
they
of it.
killed him, and you're like, oh, this is it. This is over. It's just
Yeah,
about
I know.
revenge.
Of course, people are like looking at it, and go, "Well, how are we supposed to make money off of this?"
They just what Disney did. That's what we do need to do.
Yeah, well, that's like we'll just Disney this. We'll make a whole world, and everybody gets along.
Oh. All right, so we watched enough robot movies. Is this the worst one?
No, this isn't the worst one.
What is the worst one?
I don't know, because really none of them were that bad.
But there's gotta be one worse than all the
Actually,
others, right?
I actually do. I mean, I would watch this before I watch Bicentennial Man, but I think Bicentennial Man was a better movie.
Oh, let's judge it. Bicentennial movie is better than this one
And
because
here's the sad thing is, I would watch because I would watch iRobot before I'd watch these two movies.
oh, I would
But these
definitely watch
two,
iRobot.
but these two movies had a way better message than iRobot.
Was iRobot sending a message or just an action film?
Well, it's supposed to be sending a message by the book, but it was just action film.
By message,
Let me
Bicentennial
put it
Man
this
was the
way:
best one.
I'm going to tell you the best of all the movies that we've recently watched. I'll just go with Chappie.
Chappie's the best one.
I know Chappie in this movie has like a 75 rating
I just read that too.
and the rest and Chappie had like a 30 something. I thought Chappie is way better in a way.
I think it depends on who giving the
I want to
review.
say a balanced movie. For a balanced movie to get a message out of it, get an entertainment, not too sitting there too long, so you can get on with your
Chappie was
life.
good.
Chappie was the best
I
of
think
all of
like
them.
what you said, by message wise, I would agree. Bicentennial Man was the best one.
But Centennial Man had its moments. And I mean, AI, like you said, after the aliens show up, that was just how this is like. How do we get our story to move along and get this guy
Yeah.
get a resolution? We'll give aliens, but I'm like after
Oh,
that, I'm like, in aliens, I'm not saying aliens don't exist. It's just
it doesn't matter. Like it's like
it doesn't matter. It
for
took
this
this story.
movie.
This took this story from sci-fi to way sci-fi.
I mean, like it would probably be the same instead of aliens, right? It's like advanced version of humans. It
Well,
doesn't matter what it was.
in a way, it kind of turned it into Indiana Jones 5.
I was thinking that before. I didn't want to say
Is it
anything.
5 or is it 4? Indiana Jones 4. Turn it to Indiana Jones 4. I'm
I
sorry.
didn't want to say it.
You didn't want I did.
I did it because I was thinking like it's something during this time, right?
Yeah.
Spielberg is in the 2000s. It's just like obsession with the alien race. Like
And I can't, and I'm not blaming him for being an alien because that's what made him his money. He made
Yeah.
a lot of money doing this. But like I said, I'm watching Indiana Jones. It's Indiana Jones. It's this universe. And I don't know if it's George Lucas had anything to do with it because I was like,
he's like,
somebody
oh.
needs. But I'm like, okay, Indiana Jones was pretty good. Okay, I get over this. All right, here goes Mutt. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with everything. And then it's like, all right, I saw this on NBC, a TV show on NBC that's just like this. I'm like, I already know this little thing you're in is a spaceship. And I'm like, but I'm sitting there thinking, I hope I'm wrong. This is a spaceship. I hope it turns out this is not a spaceship. And it turned out it's a spaceship. I was like, well, crap, I've already seen this.
It's like, it's really funny, like Indiana Jones aliens, right? AI aliens. Like, I'm surprised in Minority Reports, alien didn't come over and help John Anderson.
Well, that actually probably got edited out. They finally,
It's like,
you know what? Because here there was somebody in Minority Report tough enough or had a big enough star power to stop Spielberg.
just Spielberg, like, you can't
Yeah,
keep doing this.
because Tom's like, Spielberg, sit down.
Okay, hold
I'm
on.
Tom Cruise. You know I'm Tom Cruise. You know
Oh,
I know where it makes a
not
good
all of
movie.
them. He did do Catch Me If You Can and The Terminal, which were both
Oh,
very
he's
good
done a lot of
movies.
stuff. And those are
Oh,
very good
yeah,
movies.
War of the
He's
Worlds
done
with
a lot of
Aliens,
he's
Munich,
done a
or The Adventures of Tintin. That's yeah, okay.
but
Uh,
anyways, like I said, it's just kind of weird they just show up.
yeah, it is just they just
But
show
I
up.
mean, but it could happen in this story because this is the way the story was. I mean, this is their story, and I was okay with it. I'm not. Oh, this aliens didn't ruin the movie for me. The
No,
length
not
of the
this one.
movie, the slow pacing, and the length of the movie is what ruined this for me.
I think it's the ending. I think like the
The
happy
ending
ending for
really,
David,
yeah, the ending didn't really bother me that much either.
but it can
Unless I
only
want
last
to,
so long.
unless I want to sit there. Yeah, because I was like, go ahead, kid, lay down, go to sleep. I'm ready to get up and go do something else. I'm done
Before
with the movie.
before we call it quits, right? I do want to say something, a joke that Ethan told us today, that he asked Ryan, right?
You tell
Hey,
me.
it's I thought it was Pinocchio related. That's how I took it as.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so Ethan asked Ryan, like, "Hey, Ryan, why can't a nose be 12 inches?" You don't know? Because
I
there would be
don't
a
know.
foot.
Yeah,
I was like, "Well, that was pretty good." Little, and
I
then
can't decide if that's a little kid joke or a dumb dad joke.
it was always a little kid joke because he told it. I'm
Uh,
like, I never heard this before, and Ethan thought of it himself.
oh, okay.
Because I never heard this. Like, oh my god, that was so brilliant, and I'm feel myself like, man, I'm so dumb for not realizing that. I was like, huh, that is interesting. I guess it'll be a foot. And Ryan kind of get it, and I get it because I'm like, I think he's not at the age where he would understand that yet fully to understand why it's a joke, but he does get it, but not like hee hee ha ha. I was like, oh. And I thought it reminded me of Pinocchio. I'm like, oh, that's really weird. I just watched AI and Bicentennial Man. I'm like, ugh. I think next week is either we get our robots or we find a really good one. Or maybe we're able to find one, right? That we mean you both like, oh, we never seen this before, but it's better than artificial intelligence, which I don't
Yeah.
think it should be the name of this movie. The only artificial intelligence is the stupid bear, which is called Teddy, which is I do want one.
Well, actually, though, the kid had artificial intelligence, so I don't know
Oh,
why you
only
can't
to a
see
certain
that.
thought, yeah, only to a certain
Well,
extent. You're right.
no, but artificial intelligence would have been something in there just suppressing him from moving on
But
too.
moving on, yeah, to
Because, like I said, artificial intelligence isn't intelligence; it's artificial,
it's
so it's
artificial.
going to have a limit to it. Because once, like, if you get a robot and they could think exactly do everything we do, then it isn't really artificial intelligence now
No, it's not.
because they've moved on from artificial now
Oh yeah, it's yeah. You
to
said that before.
to
It's
being true art intelligence. They, I mean, they may be artificial, they may be made by us, but again, supposedly we're made by something,
it's from what you said, right? It made me
even
remind me of
evolution.
was it Jude Law that said this? Like at the end, right? We are the only ones that will be left. That's why they hate us.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did. He is the one that told them the whole story. He goes, they only like us because we do a job for them. They do it. We're basically what they, and the humans are that way. Like I said, we throw stuff. We even get rid of some of our kids. Like we said, we get rid of dogs. We get rid of people. Get rid of kids too. They're just. I mean, they think they're doing the best thing, and sometimes they really are doing the best thing
Which is
because,
funny because I have two adopted sons. Which is basically like don't.
well, it was an unintended consequence of somebody's actions, and but they
Yeah.
did. But somebody stepped in and gave them put them somewhere where they could be in a better position
Yeah.
instead of leaving them out in the woods to fend for themselves,
Oh.
where they would have found a witch who would have fed them candy and then cooked them in an oven.
Very
Just
true.
FYI. So when you're walking through the woods and you smell baked goods, stay away. That's how they get you.
It makes me sound like remember those old style beat 'em up arcade games like oh I'm gonna pick up this chicken on the ground and eat it oh I got full health. Why? because
Yeah.
because at that time we were limited by our technology, right? Like, hey,
Yeah.
how do we get more life? Well, this makes sense, pick up some
Yeah, this
soda
makes
that you found,
sense.
beat up
Yeah.
the trash can, there's a chicken in it, take
Yeah.
it, bam, full
Yeah.
health.
Yeah. Please don't do that.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It's not a role playing game, okay? You don't go to an inn and sleep for the night and get full health. This doesn't work that way
Exactly.
in a
That I
beat
love
'em up.
that. That was the way it was.
So every time on my other channel, every time I play beat 'em up, right? I thought how funny would it be where like, wow, final fight. So my girlfriend, who's also the daughter of the mayor of the city, got kidnapped, right? And now me and my girlfriend's dad have to beat up the whole town of gangs just to get my girlfriend back. This is an awesome story, dude. I'm not kidding you. It's like, imagine if I was in my 20s, right? Hey Shane, hey Cody,
Hey,
my
this is a
girlfriend
very
got
that's a very 80s movie right there.
Hey Shane, Cody, my girlfriend got kidnapped. Can the three of us beat up the whole town?
You know, Lamb, I love you, but I'd be like, no,
Yeah,
no,
like no. How many
no,
guys are we talking about? Hundreds
no. I'll be like, good luck on that.
and several towns.
You know, like, what am I getting out of this story? I'm just the third player
That's
character now.
That should be like a funny YouTube video. Like, no, I don't want to do this with you. I know we're black belts, but we're not doing this. Eventually, we'll be tired.
Well, you didn't tell me that would be a black belt. I might
but
do it.
but
I
that's
might.
the scenario. But there's a lot of guys. Okay, are they gonna fight fair? No. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Right? Beat them up. So like, come on, man. Let's go beat up the whole town of bad guys. Apparently, the cops can't help.
If there was no cop.
It's like the woe of RoboCop. But with that, that was my last rant. You have anything to add before we cut it?
No. You pretty much put a pin in it.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you everybody next time. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of Tensai Reviews. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up. Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you on the next one.